Okay, so just to glimpse what we are discussing in this week and what was happened yesterday's class. We are discussing about the QBD approach for developing Acitretin 20 mg IR tablet. It is an immediate release tablet, and the dose is 20 mg, and the drug is Acitretin. Yesterday, we have seen the basics like what is roller compaction, how what is for what it is used for. And basically, it's a dry granulation process. Then what is particle distribution D10, D50, D90. So whichever the number it is, that particles are less than this percentage, that is 10 percentage, 50 percentage, 90 percentage. And what is the reference listed drug? So the ultimate goal of the presentation is, or this the slides are to develop a generic version of Acitretin tablets 20 mg dose as that of reference listed drug using quality by design approach. So based upon the literature, such patent literature and reverse engineering, they have made a tentative formula with the drug and exhibit Acitretin, lactose monohydrate, microcrystalline, which both are basically fillers because it's a small dose tablet. Cross-carbonyl sodium is a disintegrant, magnesium stearate is a lubricant, and talcum peroxide is a guidant or lubricant. So let us understand the complete process, what is going to happen here. This is a composition of the tablet, and this is a process by which the granules has been prepared and further it went for compaction, and you are going to prepare a tablet. So since these are all the materials, chemicals, whatever the properties which we are discussing with related to this, which affects the quality target product profile is called as critical material attributes. And this is a process which involves both granulation followed by compaction, and whatever the process variables which are discussing with related to these instruments are called as critical process parameters. Both together contribute the critical quality attributes such as dissolution, disintegration, whatever other parameters that is related to this immediate release tablet. Then whole together this CQS will affect the quality product of the Acitretin. This is a complete picture which we are going to discuss in the next slides, whatever it is. So let us begin, preparing this quality-based tablet using QBD design. So as you're aware, there are 6 elements in the QBD. One is QTPP, another one is CQA, followed by QRM, design space, and control strategy. This actual product lifecycle has to come here. It is not that there are 6 elements. These 6 elements, what are the presentation you studied for the class, I given as a glimpse with small examples. But this is a completely working example. That means we are seeing the actual development step by step. So it will not come as in this order. That means first time giving a reduction followed by giving the actual example. No, it will not come like this. First we are going to finish completely QTPP. Then we'll enter completely to the CQA followed by this. It goes as a flow rather than giving simple examples and going to the next one, right? So let us begin with the definition, which I want to skip here because as you're aware, what is the definition before itself. So what is first element is QTPP. The QTPP is an essential element of QBD approach and forms the basis of design for the development of the product. This is a basic element. This is the first element of the QBD to start with the development of the product. The QTPP provides an understanding of what will ensure the quality, safety, efficacy of a specific product for the patient and is a starting point for identifying the critical quality attributes. So basically QTPP way of doing is we are going to find what is the target of the product which can ensure these targets, which may be disintegration, dissolution, or whatever it is, which will ensure the quality of the product as well as the safety and efficacy of the product. For suppose here in the case, we are not going to develop any RLD product. This is not innovative product. This is basically a generic version of RLD. So that is nothing but AND, abbreviated new drug applications. For this kind of products, when you're developing a QBD approach, the target, that is nothing but the QTPP, should be defined early in the development based upon the properties of the drug substance, characterization of the RLD product, and consideration of the RLD label. See what this is nothing but the QTPP for this kind of abbreviated products or the generic products is nothing but just like that. What is the characteristics of the reference listed product? For suppose the reference listed product of Acitretin having 80% resolution in not less than 30 minutes. Then our QTPP also the same thing. We want a tablet, we want to develop a QBD tablet, which resolution is not less than 80% 30 minutes. That's what the whole idea of QTPP for the case of ANDs. For suppose if you are developing some innovator product, the product is completely new, it is for the new disease. In this case, other products would include additional attributes into the QTPP. So apart from the label, whatever written for the innovator product, if you are developing an innovator product, your label will completely change. Few more points you have to add it here. So with respect to this tablet, so what are the QTPPs they have selected? As I'm mentioning, as we've seen in the before slide, the QTPP for this generic versions of any tablet is nothing but as that of the innovator product. For suppose if you take dosage form, it is a tablet because it is a pharmaceutical equivalence requirement, same dosage form. Because innovator is using tablet, we are also using a tablet. Then design, innovator is a immediate release tablet. That's our target also, an immediate release tablet. The route of administration, innovator is using, overall we are also using that. Like everything, every target of this product is nothing but the justification, nothing but it is equivalent to the innovator product, that is nothing but RLT product, except few things. For suppose you can take this stability as an example. Our target is at least 24 months shelf life. Shelf life is nothing but expiry period. At least it should may have 24 months, because at least is that, because innovator also showing 24 months. Here they're using not exactly 24 months. If you can able to improve more than 24 months, this is well and good, because that ultimately improves the quality of the product, right? It is not exactly to have to make equivalent with the innovator product. Some of the quality target profiles can be more than innovator product, which can increase the quality of the product. Or else for the innovator products, the QTPP will remain same as that of the innovator products. Okay. Now come to the CQS. So you have selected, these are the targets, QTPP, dosage form, dosage design, all these things. Now from this, the next basic step is to identify critical quality attributes. Out of this, what are the critical quality attributes and why they are critical quality attributes, and what experts were saying it critical quality attributes. So look into this, right of once. So after identification of QTPP, the next step is to identify the relevant critical quality attributes. Any attributes of the dosage form. It may be material attributes, it may be process parameter, which is directly related to the safety and efficacy. Try to understand, please remember this point. This is the heart of the CQS. And what basis and anybody selecting CQS, any aspect of the material, any aspect of the process, if it is related directly to the safety and efficacy of this tablet, that points you have to consider as that material attributes process parameters can be considered as CQS. So a CQA as per the ICH guidelines QA can be defined as a physical, chemical, biological or microbiological property, nothing but material attributes or the characteristic that should be within an appropriate limit or range to ensure that there is a product quality. So the identification of CQS from the QTPP is based upon the severity of harm, nothing but the safety a patient should be facing if the product fall outside the acceptable range for that attribute. Generally, CQS are associated with raw materials, which we are calling as critical material attributes, are also sometimes associated with the process. So CQS identification may be performed on the basis of prior information, that is quality risk management, which we are going to see once we are finding what are the CQS for this product. So prior information can be obtained by literature review, technology transfer, stability reports, manufacturing experience, etc. So much domain you can able to understand what are the factors which you are going to, which are really important to consider as critical quality attributes. So for the better understanding of this write-up, you can see this table, which is related to the current product Disatriptan. So there are number of critical attributes are there, right? But whether to consider everything or not, we have to see, because if you are considering more and more the critical attribute, the more and more the headache and the more and more problems you have to face during the developmental process by considering everything. Let us say physical attributes, which you are seeing in the QTPP. Appearance, whether it is a CQA a critical quality attribute or not, no. Because if you could remember the definition of critical quality attributes, whatever which is related to the safety and efficacy aspects of the product, only we have to consider as critical quality attributes. Because color and shape is nowhere related. Because if color is some other color or the shape is some other color, there is nowhere related to the safety and efficacy, because they are not directly related to the drug. Because the drug, once it is dissolved, disintegrated, it has been observed and will produce efficacy. If any failure in the release, it may reduce the efficacy or it may increase the efficacy. So there is no direct relation of the color or shape whatever with the CQS, that is safety and efficacy. Order, once again, whatever the order, the patient is not going, because most of the tablets, if you see, there is a blunt order, there is no order, and order is nowhere related to the safety or efficacy of the product. So this also not as critical quality attributes. Similarly, size, as we are already making the size with respect to the innovator product, there is no question of, once again, which is rather related to or not to the critical quality attributes. Then scoring information. What is the meaning of scoring information? You can see most of the tablets, there is a middle line. You can break the tablet and divide into two halves for the reduction of dose. But this tablet being itself a 20 mg tablet, these tablets are not coming with that margin. These are basically unscored. So when there is no unscoring, there is no it can consideration of critical quality attributes, because once there is a scoring, if the patient is not able to exactly make a half, either the dose is more, in that case safety issues, the dose may be less, in that case efficacy issues. So in this kind of tablets, it is since unscored, there is no problem of CQS. Then friability is already limit is the less than 1%. If it is not less than 1%, we are not going to move further. This is not directly related to the critical, there is no related to the safety and efficacy, hence we cannot consider as critical quality attribute. So among the physical properties, nothing, as because these are all nowhere directly related with the quality and the safety and efficacy aspects of the formulation, we are not considering as critical quality attributes. Okay, next comes to identification. Yes, it is a critical quality attribute, because let us say you developed HPLC method, let us say you have developed UV method, and that method is not robust and rugged, and you are not able to find out the exact quantity in the formulation, then it is going to be a danger. Let us say 105 mg was there, let us say 20 mg, 25 mg was there in the tablet, and you have developed a method showing 25 mg is 100%. That means you're this, like this kind of potent drugs, are increasing the dose unnecessarily. If you are not able to find out what is the drug concentration, then it will lose unnecessary, the doses from unnecessary the safety and efficacy issues. Similarly, SAS 100 label, once again, this is a potent drug. If it is little more or less also, if it is more, the dose is more, which causes the safety problems. If it is less, it will not produce a therapeutic levels, then it will cause efficacy problems. Hence, yes, this SA should be considered as critical quality attributes. Similarly, content uniformity. If the drug is not mixed properly throughout the granulation process or mixing process, once again, since it is a potent drug, the 20 mg will not be equally distributed in all the tablets. Once there is no dose uniformity, then there is a problem of safety, then there is a problem of efficacy if it is more or less. Hence, we are considering as a critical quality attribute. Similarly, dissolution. If the dissolution is not less than 80% 30 minutes, it will not be going to be disintegrated, it's not going to be dissoluted, and there is no dissolution, there is no absorption, there is no production, there is no showing of therapeutic activity or efficacy. Hence, it is considered as critical quality attribute. So in this slide, efficacy, identification, SA, content uniformity, dissolution are the critical quality attributes related to the acetaminophen tablet. So there is a star mark here. I will tell you what these star marks are. Similarly, degradation products. Hope everybody know what is a degradation product. When you keep a drug for a long period of time, otherwise when you subject the drug for stress conditions like oxidation, subject to sunlight or heat, there is a chances of the drug going to be degraded. The degraded part leads to the formation of degradation products, which are toxic because they have not officially tested for the safety or efficacy. So what are the products? During the process, there are chances that there are many degradation products is going to be formed during the storage, and hence consider, I think most of the tablets, the degradation products has been considered as a critical quality attributes, because that is related to the toxicity, that is nothing but safety issues. Similarly, if it is an immediate release tablet, dissolution is the default critical quality attributes. Similarly, residual solvents, there are some residual solvents which are going to use maybe the alcohol during the granulation process or whatever, some other solvent that may cause some toxicity problems. Hence, it is considered as critical quality attributes. So water content already had prescribed here not more than 4%, and water, whatever it is, there is no problem with the safety and efficacy. Similarly, the last one is microbial limits. So every product there is, we cannot say 100% is microbial free. There are some impact of microbes on the chemicals which are getting, that's already pharmacopoeia shows some criteria. This is the range required, and hence if there is any changes in the range which the supplier is giving, which is related to the toxicity, that is nothing but the safety problems. So out of which you can see what are the critical quality attributes they have selected. One is identification of the drug, one is assay, the next one is content uniformity, dissolution, degradation, residual solvents, and microbial limits, right? But there are three star marks here, 1, 2, and 3. So let us recall back the control strategy. The fourth element, the fifth element is the control strategy, which clearly says there are some aspects of the dosage form which we know that it will affect the safety and efficacy. However, that can be controlled during the starting of formulation. Let us say we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are all going to be influence the safety and efficacy. But is there any chances that, without doing further, identifying the material attributes and process parameters for these critical quality attributes, is there any chance by which we can able to stop at the initial stage? Is there are for three things the options are the one is identification, another one is the residual solvents, another one is the microbial limits. I'll tell you how. Let us say identification. In the identification tests, if we get able to develop a robust and rugged HPLC method, if there is no deviations in identifying the product exact quantity. If the HPLC method, any analytical method was not developed a proper way, there is leads to the misreading of the results. So if you make a proper analytical method, you can avoid this critical quality attributes at the beginning of the development. Similarly, residual solvents, as we all know, residual solvents can impact the safety. Let us have stop using the residual solvent. Let us say alcohol is to be used. So instead of wet granulation, let us go for dry granulation. That is when this experiment, if you see, they went for a dry granulation process, which is the roller compaction technique. They didn't use any kind of solvents to make the granules. So therefore they avoided this. And similarly, microbial limits, they made sure that when the chemical came, they checked the microbial content and they made sure that it is less than the pharmacopoeial requirements, and then they have taken into the consideration of this and they have proceeded. That is how the identification, the residual solvents and microbial limits has been minimized at the beginning of the product development and went for further proceeding to develop the product to the control strategy. So formulation and process variables are unlikely to impact the critical quality attributes of this has been removed, right? So these are the critical quality attributes, and once again I'm recalling you back, whatever it is related to the safety and efficacy of the product that can be considered as critical quality attributes. As per the previous slide, we have finalized assay of the product, content uniformity of the product, dissolution and degradation products are the critical quality attributes that are related directly to the safety, efficacy of the drug product.